"I dare say you're wondering why I don't put my arm around your waist," the Duchess said after a pause. "The reasoning is that I'm doubtful about the temperament of your flamingo." "Shall I try the experiment?" "He might bite," Alice replied, not feeling at all anxious about being the experiment tried. "Very true," said the Duchess. "Flamingos and mustards both bite. The moral of that is, birds of a feather flock together." "Only mustard isn't a bird," Alice remarked. "Right as usual," said the Duchess. "What a clear way you have of putting things." "It's a mineral, I think," said Alice. "Of course it is," said the Duchess, who was ready to agree with anything that Alice said. "There's a large mustard mine near here, and the moral of that is, the more there is of mine, the less there is of yours." "Oh, I know," exclaimed Alice, who had not attended at this last mark. "It's a vegetable. It doesn't look like one, but it is." "I quite agree with you," said the Duchess. "And the moral of that is, be what you would seem to be, or, if you'd like to put it more simply, never imagine yourself not to be otherwise than what it might appear to others that what you were, or what have been was, not otherwise than what you have been would have appeared to them to be otherwise." "I think I should understand that better," said Alice, quite politely, "if I'd written it down. But I'm afraid I'm not quite follow it as you say it. There's nothing to what I could say if I chose," the Duchess replied with a pleased note. "Pray don't trouble yourself to say it any longer than that," said Alice. "Oh, don't talk about trouble," said the Duchess. "I'll make you a present of something I've said as yet." "A cheap sort of present," thought Alice. "I'm glad they don't give birthday presents like that." But she didn't venture to say it out loud. "Thinking again?" the Duchess said, with another dig of a sharp chin. "I've a right to think," said Alice sharply, for she was beginning to feel a little worried. "Just about as much right," said the Duchess, "as pigs have to fly. And there, to Alice's surprise, the Duchess's voice died away, even in the middle of her favourite word, moral. And the arm that linked into hers began to tremble. Alice looked up, and there stood the Queen in front of them with her arms folded, following like a thunderstorm. "Fine day, Your Majesty," the Duchess began in a low, weak voice. "Ah, I give you fair warning," shouted the Queen, stamping on the ground as she spoke. "Neither you nor your head must be off, and that is in what about no time. Take your choice." The Duchess took her choice and was gone in a moment. "Let's get on with the game," the Queen said to Alice. Alice was so much too afraid to say a word, but slowly followed her back to the croquet ground. The other guests took advantage of the Queen's absence and were resting on the shade. However, the moment they saw her, they scurried back to the game, the Queen merely remarking that the moment's delay would cost them their lives. All the time they were playing, the Queen never left off quarrelling with other players and shouting, "Off with his head!" or "Off with her head!" Those whom she sentenced were taken into custody by the soldiers, who quite of course have left off being arched to do this, so that the end of half an hour or so there were no archers left, and all the players except the King, the Queen and Alice were in custody under the sentence of execution. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a little bit difficult to read. I wonder what bird will be tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.